Command code invalid.
Be the first to know the latest updates, breaking news, and mind-blowing insights about your favorite movies. Subscribe now and become a true movie spy. In Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, the Gorn have proven to be one of the Federation's most powerful adversaries. Here's everything we know about them. The Gorn previously appeared in the legendary Star Trek, the original series episode Arena. But in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, a completely new version of the deadly reptilians has been presented. After learning of the Gorn's existence in Strange New Worlds, Starfleet begins creating weaponry and technologies to combat them. As tensions between the Federation and the Gorn rise, Starfleet fears that war is on the horizon. The Gorn have proven to be a deadly foe for the Federation, but little is known about their culture and way of life. When the Gorn attack a Federation colony on the planet Parnassus Beta in the Strange New Worlds Season 2 finale, Hegemony, they add fuel to the fire. The Gorn assert that Parnassus Beta is in their domain and send a signal to Starfleet, creating a demarcation line. Despite instructions from Starfleet to stay on their side of the line, Captain Christopher Pike and a landing team sneak past the Gorn to save the people imprisoned on the planet. Hegemony concludes with Captain Pike facing off against a Gorn destroyer and 3 Gorn hunters, leaving him outgunned and unsure of his future movements. Everything there is to know about the Gorn Hegemony's history in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Star Trek Hegemony. The Gorn ship the Gorn are little known. However, their ruling organization is known as the Gorn Hegemony, which was known to the Orion Syndicate as early as 2154. The Gorn's technology appears to be identical to Starfleet's, while the Gorn themselves are stronger, quicker, and more resilient than humans. Gorn eggs and hatchlings do not appear on sensors, making tracking them extremely difficult. While the Gorn's communication mechanism is not entirely known, they appear to converse with one another using light. Because the Gorn seldom leave survivors, their first confrontations with the Federation are mainly unknown. The Gorn are lizard-like, cold-blooded creatures that evolved in the Beta Quadrant. They reproduce by depositing eggs within the body of a humanoid host. To ensure a continual supply of hosts, the Gorn build breeding planets on which they dump captured humanoids for hunting and use as incubators. Gorn may spray venom that infects a host with eggs even at a young age. When a host becomes infected, Gorn hatchlings explode from their bodies and kill them instantly. Gorn hatchlings are vicious and territorial, and they begin battling for control as soon as they are hatched. The Gorn's first appearance in Star Trek, the original series Gorn Arena from Star Trek. The original series, the Federation does not formally encounter the Gorn in the Prime Timeline until 2267, as featured in the Star Trek, the original series episode Arena. When Captain Kirk and his landing team arrive on the planet Cestus 3, they find the Federation colony entirely destroyed and the Gorn waiting for them. While pursuing the Gorn ship, the Enterprise enters an undiscovered sector of space and encounters a sophisticated species known as the Metrons. The Metrons abandon Captain Kirk and the Gorn captain on a planet, threatening to destroy whichever captain loses the conflict. Kirk finally overcomes the Gorn by forging gunpowder from planet-derived resources. The Metrons return the Gorn captain to his ship and commend Kirk's generosity since he stops short of murdering the Gorn captain. When Kirk meets the Gorn captain, the Gorn insist that they only attacked Cestus 3 because it was on their domain. The Federation appeared to be invading from the Gorn's point of view. Dr. McCoy and Spock both admit that the Federation may have been at fault. Not only does this imply that these Gorn are less cruel than those in Strange New Worlds, but it also implies that peace between the Federation and the Gorn is feasible. Star Trek appearances of the Gorn from Star Trek Enterprise. The Gorn feature in multiple Star Trek series after their debut appearance in Star Trek, the original series. Slar, a Gorn, appears in the Star Trek Enterprise episode In a Mirror, Darkly, Part 2, but the entire episode takes place in the Mirror universe. Slar murders many ISS Enterprise crew members before being murdered by the Mirror universe version of Captain Jonathan Archer. A Gorn skeleton appears in Captain Gabriel Lorca's menagerie on Star Trek Discovery, confirming once more that certain Starfleet officials were aware of the Gorn prior to Captain Kirk's historic meeting. Ensign Rutherford unexpectedly winds up on a desert planet in the middle of a Gorn wedding celebration in Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 1, Episode 8. This sequence is presented in flashback as Rutherford recalls the events of a certain day, thus, it's unknown how much of it is real. A few distinct Gorn may be spotted aboard a starbase in the backdrop of the Lower Decks episode An Embarrassment of Dupplers, implying that Gorn-Federation relations are not always antagonistic. Retcons by Gorn in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Close-up of a Gorn adult. Aside from a few brief cameos in other episodes, the Gorn do not make a significant comeback to the Star Trek universe until Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds has revealed more about Gorn history and biology than any previous Star Trek program. Despite the fact that the Federation did not make official contact with the Gorn until the events of TOS Arena, Strange New Worlds shows that the Gorn were known to the Federation long before that. Strange New Worlds Season 1 Episode 4, Memento Mori, reveals that Enterprise Security Chief Lan Noonien Singh was the sole survivor of a Gorn attack. Gorn raided the colony ship, the SS Puget Sound, while she was a youngster, finally murdering everyone on board save Lan. Lan was transported into space on a raft after the Gorn slaughtered the other passengers as part of a Gorn ceremony. The Federation spaceship US Martin Luther King Jr. then rescued her. Although it appeared that none of the Enterprise crew members were familiar with Gorn and Arena, Spock faces Gorn in both All Those Who Wander and Hegemony. Nurse Chapel and Nyota Uhura also help combat Gorn. Montgomery Scott is introduced in Hegemony as a young man who not only designs a trap to catch Gorn but also figures out how to get past their ships. All of these people would be aboard the US Enterprise in Arena, but Star Trek: Strange New Worlds can explain this apparent canon gap. Stay tuned, because we have a mission to uncover the most enigmatic film secrets ever created. Remember, with Movie Spy, the truth is just one click away. Thanks for watching.